It's time for Commoner. Let's see how my Oldhim deck did. Hi friends, welcome back to Nearly Sane Games. I'm Neil, and this is the Armory Report. This week it was a Commoner event, and I took my Oldhim deck, and I made a few changes. So first, let's go over those. Alright, so a quick look at the changes I made. First off, it's just all blues. Remember, the important thing is that we want a 3-block with our blues. The attack doesn't matter as much. So the first thing I brought in was the Glacial Footsteps blue. These are 8 attack. Yes, this costs 2 blues to attack with, but we're still getting an 8 power attack with it. Potentially we fuse it. This is generally going to be... we're looking at blues for really late game. And in case we get an all-blue hand, this would be excellent in an all-blue hand. And speaking of all-blue hands, what I've done is I've taken these blues out because they are generally low power. These are all 5 attacks. They still have 3 block. We want to have those. And I've moved up to a 4-cost attack for much of my blues. And this lets us get up to 6 power. Still keeps our 3 defense, so we can block if we need to. And this just gives us a little bit more power in the late game. A 6 block is potentially enough to get some damage through. And as we play our cards, we're going to play our blues. We're going to use our blues for pitch. And they'll come up late game. So there's potential that we can get a bigger attack in. It also helps if we get a big attack, get an all blue hand, we can potentially throw a little bit more power. Now these are all, these 3 sets of cards are all 4 pitch or 4 costs to attack with. So if we have 2 blues, we could potentially throw this at them and still have enough for a pummel. But this is kind of changing our late game plan. This can backfire against us a little bit. There's potential that we block the 2 cards and we don't have enough pitch for this. That's fine, because in those cases we're just going to swing our hammer anyway. So generally I think this is probably a good trade for our late game power. So let's see how I did with my updated Oldhim deck. Now round 1 was versus, come on, not ninja, come on. Katsu. Ah! I don't like to play against the ninja, especially first round. But got to figure them out somehow. So this time I was holding out for some more big attacks. I was trying to keep 5-card hands. I was trying to throw attacks or throw multiple attacks or get the attacks with pummels in when I could. I definitely paid the price for that. There were some big attacks early on, and I was holding out a big hand. I went down to 10. He was still at 20. I did my big attack. I believe it was an attack with a pummel added to it. So he blocked with 1 card, and I took another card out of his hand, but he only went down to 12. So now we're 12 and 10. I'm still behind. I ended up getting into a blocking match with him, and it was, I got him down to 5. I was at 6, and I didn't want to give up any more health. And so I ended up starting blocking out with my hand, trying to keep my life total high. It didn't really work. I didn't have real good follow-ups, or he was presenting lethal, and I couldn't take the attack, or I was worried about the attack. I had some bad hands. So at 5-3, I was going to take a Kadachi, and I think he Razor reflexed it. had to throw something back at some point, and that just didn't work out for me. So first round was a loss. So round 2 was against, please not Ninja, please not Ninja, please not Ninja, Ira. So I at least got off to a good start here. My first turn, I was able to dominate a Glacial Footsteps for 10. Get in there, get some early damage. I was able to get a pummel off of an attack, grab another card from his hand. I was able to use the yellow pummel on the hammer, and my pitch lined up so that turned the 4-power hammer attack into a 9-power attack, which was some really good damage. And in the end, he was at 1, I was at 4. I took a little damage to get down to 4, but then my follow-up was a Glacial Footsteps for 10. He can only block 9. I actually beat a Ninja. How did that work? So round 2 I won, 1-1. Round 3 was against, come on, not Ninja, Dory. Really? And Dory was really tough. This Dory build was specifically working on giving Dawnblade go again, a lot of hit and runs, a lot of times that I knew Dawnblade was coming back in, and I really had to pay attention on how I wanted to block that out. He managed to get a counter on Dawnblade. Don't like that. Very bad. That went for a couple of turns that I was able to prevent a second counter from going onto it, but I wasn't able to stop it from getting the hits. And then he swung in one turn with a big Dawnblade attack, pumped up. I knew he had other cards in his hand, so I really overblocked it and worked real hard, and his other card did not give Dawnblade go again, and I was able to block him out. So got the counter off of Dawnblade, which was very important. We were battling back and forth. He got down to 1, and I was at 2, and I think he was hoping to come back with a bigger attack. I was able to swing a Nothos and add a red pummel to it for the win. Now my 4th round was against Bravo. All right, Bravo should be interesting. He was running a ton of unmovables. I could not believe how many he was running. Definitely the reds, and I think 2 yellows, and that made my big attacks, put me in a weird spot with those big attacks. We got down to, he was at 5, I was at 4. He came in with a hammer swing, just a 4-attack hammer, still had 2 cards in hand. I knew that there was going to be some added damage there, but I had 2 cards that I could swing back with. I didn't want to stop putting on the pressure. So I made the decision, I only blocked 6. So I was still alive to anything but a red pummel. And he had a red pummel, and brought that Anothos back up to 10. That's Exactsies. I didn't have anything else to send back at that, so that was a loss. So all in all, I went 2-2. I don't think that was too terrible, but obviously I would like that to be better. I finally beat a Ninja. I was happy with that win. And I think that getting those big attacks in is what I need to do, and there's going to be some amount of extra damage that I'm going to take to work on setting up those hands. I need to set up 5-card hands. I need to set up I need to take damage for the 4-card hands to get through the big damage, and just got to go for that. As for the deck, one of the things I've been kind of playing with is I've got 4 blue ice cards in there, and they are nice if I can get the Glacial Footsteps or the Snow Under to fuse, but honestly that very rarely happens. Those 4, 2 of those are 3 blocks, 2 of those are 2 blocks, but they're all under 3 power. So what I'm thinking about doing is taking those out, bringing in 3 blocks, saying that we're just not going to fuse my ice cards, and having those 3 blocks available, and still having the extra pitch cost on those, so that when I pitch those to a Nothos and I have a pummel that will pump it up an extra 2. I think that that surprise is going to happen more often than being able to actually fuse one of my ice cards. So in the future, that might be what I do. I did think that the powered up blue cards was a little bit better. I don't remember, I think I might have thrown one of those at them, and the potential for having the pummel on that. I did use the blue Glacial Footsteps, which swings in for 8, which is great. I really like that one. When I replace the ice cards, I'll probably bring back in some of the 3-cost cards that I took out. I think that will kind of balance that out a little bit. If I need to have a pitch 1 card, swing a 5 power attack because that's all I have at the moment, instead of doing the hammer for whatever reason, perhaps I do that. It's not the worst in the world, but I also have the double blue pitch for potentially a higher powered attack. I don't know. We'll try it out. We'll see how it goes. Next week we're doing Blitz, and I'm going to try to do a deck tech on Tuesday for a new Bolton deck. This is Bolton with focusing on Valiant Dynamo, and working with that. It's going to be a Sabres build, probably based partially off of the Dory Axes build, and hopefully we can get some interesting things with that. I don't have everything worked out yet. I don't know that it's necessarily a winning deck. It's kind of a deck in progress. We'll see where it is on Tuesday. We'll go over it, and we'll play it next Thursday and see how we do. So until next time, this has been the Armory Report.